What's up, everybody? It's Rich here with 10 things you have almost definitely not heard about in the game of Minecraft. Now, let's face it, at this point in Minecraft, these top 10s are basically bragging rights. There are so many top 10s on YouTube that even the very unknown things are now commonly and widely known. So for your viewing pleasure, I have gathered the 10 most obscure, most unknown things I could find. Things that probably don't have much impact in the game, but are very rarely mentioned and very rarely talked about. So for number 1, we have saturation, which is very rarely talked about and is honestly kind of important. Now, saturation is an invisible bar. Think of it like your hunger bar, but it tells you how full you are instead of how hungry you are. Basically, you can't lose any hunger until your saturation is at 0, which is why if you eat food, then it's going to be a while until you start losing hunger again. And the item with the most saturation is the wonderful golden carrot with 12.2 saturation. And if you're looking for the item that will restore the most hunger, that would be the rabbit stew, which will actually fully restore your entire hunger bar. Skeletons and zombies can actually pick up tools, and when they're holding something that's been dropped by a player, or just left on the ground, they won't despawn, and when you kill them, I believe they will drop that tool back every time. And while we're on the note of fighting, it's actually worth pointing out that in 1.9 the axe does more damage than the sword at the cost of a little attack speed. Now for number 3, you can actually collect the water out of the sponge. Let's just wait for this to burn all the way through, and you'll see that not only do we have a new dry sponge, but we'll have a bucket of water, which is probably pretty pointless, but something not a lot of people know about. You can actually tell the health of a wolf by looking at its tail. If it has high health, its tail will be pointing up, and if it has low health, its tail will be pointing down, which is kind of cool. Something I never knew, though, is that you can dye the collar of a wolf whatever color you want. And of course, if you need more dye, you can bone meal 2 high plants, and that will actually drop the same plant, giving you a very, very efficient source of dye. And of course, if you want to stop villagers from dying, you can actually dispense armor onto them, which I think is really cool. I don't know if it's intended, but if we hit this button, you can see that the armor has gone from this dispenser and should be on this villager, and we can tell that by punching him, and you see we took damage, because he has Thorns 3. This right here is more commonly known, but very useful. You can shift-click an item to bring it directly over to your inventory, but if you double-click an item, it will send all items of that type to your inventory. And this is something completely random, but you never would have noticed it if I didn't point it out. Prismarine slowly changes color and texture over time, which you can see right here, and if it's not that evident, I'll put in a speed-up shot of it changing color. Another thing not commonly heard about is that trees growing don't check for other log blocks. So we can just bone meal this tree right through our other birch tree. Interestingly enough, though, if you have a 2x2 tree, it won't grow if it has any non-log blocks around the side of it, even grass. In Minecraft 1.9, tripwires actually won't differentiate between air blocks and solid blocks. This won't mean anything to you unless you're a technical redstoner, but it can lead to some pretty cool situations that you couldn't have before. Now this drop right here, the rabbit's foot, has actually been in the game for quite a lot of time, but no one's really known about it because it's very, very rare. There's a very low chance you're gonna get one of these unless you have a rabbit farm. And what's it used for? Well, brewing potions of leaping. You can get the leaping effect from having a beacon too, and honestly, crafting these from rabbit feet really isn't worth the effort. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to our 15th and final fact, which is obviously pretty cool. You probably saw it in the title of the video, but in Minecraft 1.9, as of now, you can actually fly forever with the Elektra. Now, the way you do this is grab a punch 2 bow. You have to be in survival for this to work, but basically, we're just gonna go toward a nearby cliff, run off, and we have to hit ourselves with arrows, which is far easier said than done. Let's get some speed, and did you just see that? So let's dive again, get some more speed, and we have to hit ourselves with another arrow to get another speed boost. And there we go. And as you can see, this is very hard to do. This takes a considerable amount of skill, but if you've mastered this, you can actually just fly forever in your Minecraft world. And like I said, it's pretty hard to do. You have to hit yourself with an arrow, and getting the hang of it is really not that easy. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned things that you had never learned before, and I hope you may find, at least some of them useful. But if you did like this video, or frankly, if you didn't like this video, please scroll down and hit that like button. And if you really loved it, make sure to subscribe. This has been Richie, and I will see you next time.